Hello, dear friends, and welcome to the Danielle Moodie Show. We had a lot happen over the last 24 hours. We had Kamala Harris have ground-breaking, record-breaking attendance at her closing argument on the election. We have Donald Trump crying foul already about the votes in Pennsylvania. We have Elon Musk telling us that America is going to face some hardships, but it's going to be necessary, coming from a man that is the richest in the world. Are you all ready to get into the mess that has been the last 24 hours? Welcome to the Danielle Moodie Show. Folks, I am so excited to have all of you here. As you can see, I am at an undisclosed location. I am traveling. I apologize if the sound is a little bit off today because guess who forgot their microphone at home? This girl. Nonetheless, I am super excited to be here with all of you. We are multi streaming. We are streaming on Mary Trump's channel, on Twitter, and right here on my YouTube page. So shout out to all of the folks in the chat. Always good to see each and every one of you in there. So let's jump right in, shall we? Last night, we kicked off what can only be said to be the last days of the election cycle. I say the last days because I don't know if they are the final days of America or we're turning the page on a new chapter of America. But what I will say is that last night, the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, can we just take a moment to look at the stage setting that took place last night? This image of the Vice President of the United States on the ellipses with, I think they said 75,000 plus people showed up for this speech, with the White House darkened behind her, surrounded by flags, the faces, the sea of people reaching from the ellipses all the way to the Washington Monument out on all sides. It was an extraordinary setup. It was extraordinary imaging for her closing statement. And like folks are saying in the chat, I had goosebumps. If you were watching Jen Taub and I last night, as we were live watching this speech together, there were so many moments from it that I could take. But I will tell you that what was just so powerful were the people that were there, the people that look like America. The staunch difference between Donald Trump and those MAGA maggots at Madison Square Garden and Americans. And what do I mean by that? I mean that America is not just made up of white people. It is not just made up of white male toxicity, right, in red hats that are just pumping their testosterone through the rafters. America looked like last night. It looked like young people and old people. It looked like Black people and people of color. It looked like queer people. It was a beautiful display. And as we were listening to her speak for, I don't even know how long she spoke, but saying that we need to stop pointing fingers and link arms. That was the thing that stood out to me the most. Because all Donald Trump, all Republicans have been doing over the past 9 years are pointing fingers. I don't like you. I don't like you. I don't like you. Instead of finding ways to actually bring us together, they are looking for new and more inventive ways to tear us all apart. And so when she said that we need to stop pointing and link arms. For me, it's like, folks, how clear could the difference be between these candidates? Like, give me a break here if there are still those imaginary people that are on the fence. Because the vision that she laid out, which, by the way, y'all, it was played on Fox, right? Fox actually ran this, which leads me to believe that they are hard up for ratings, you know. But they played it. And would you believe that they had headlines like Kamala's angry closing argument, Kamala's fascist view of America? And I'm just like, projection much? Because if you're actually listening to what it is that she says, what parts of fascism do you get? I want to be the president for all Americans, those that disagree and those that don't disagree. I'm going to make room at the table for everyone. I'm going in to the Oval Office with a to-do list from the American people, not an enemies list. She laid it out so clear. How do you, and it's purposeful misunderstanding. It's purposeful disinformation. Because there's no way that you even read the transcript of what she said and put up what Donald Trump said at Madison Square Garden and you come up with the word fascism and you direct it towards the Harris Walls team. Miss me with it, right? So what we saw last night, and I want to put this image up, a tale of two ellipses, right? On one hand, you have signs that read freedom, USA, flags, people chanting USA in a way that distills camaraderie, patriotism, love of country. Then you look on the other side, and what do you see? The insurrectionist, basically the newfangled Confederates who wanted to hang the vice president of the United States because America decided that they did not want to continue with the toxicity of Donald Trump in 2020. How you look at these two things, and I quote tweeted this, and I said, so here's the election in a nutshell. Either you want freedom, smiles, happiness, and joy, or you want to live in a sea of violence. You want an angry mob. Those are the choices, right? So when we look at this, folks, listening to her, looking out at the sea of people, I know who I'm choosing. I know what I'm choosing, but I got to tell you, I woke up this morning and I'm scared. And I've been saying that to you all. I am worried. I am scared because will America decide that voting for Kamala Harris is a vote for themselves? Will they decide that voting for Kamala Harris is a vote for democracy? Right? Like, will America show up in enough numbers that they're not able to steal it? Because let me tell you, folks, Donald Trump, oh, he was on one today, boy. Well, he's on one every day. This is what Donald Trump was tweeting this morning. Pennsylvania is cheating and getting caught at large-scale levels, rarely seen before. Report cheating to authorities. Law enforcement must act now. So let me just break it down for you all. Donald Trump got some internal polling that told him he ain't gonna win Pennsylvania. That's what happened. And so what he is doing is what he did in 2020, which is a rinse and repeat. Let me prime the courts for my bullshit, bogus lawsuits, and let me get them ready, which he already filed one in Pennsylvania, to say that there is cheating happening because the polls are saying that he is not going to win. Now, again, I tell you, I don't take a lot of stock in the polls. I talk about them because I'm in politics and it's part of my job, but it's pretty much like reading the tea leaves. But what he is doing right here and what he will continue to do is to set the stage for two things to happen. The courts to give him the election the way that the Supreme Court did in 2000 for George W. Bush, right? Bush v. Gore, we remember that, the pregnant chads and all. Or along with his little secret that him and Speaker Mike Johnson are holding close to their chest. And what is that little secret? Oh, to disavow, right, the Electoral College and let the House of Representatives elect the next president. That you can get enough of these folks in these red states to not certify the election results. And then Mike Johnson decides, okay, we're out, right? We're not doing this. Republicans, we're going to do a secondary type of election, which is laid out in our Constitution, which, by the way, no one has ever tried before. And we have more delegates. The Republicans have more delegates. And that's how it'll play out. This is what Donald Trump is banking on. This is what Republicans are banking on. That's why they're not out there, folks, trying to actually win more votes in this closing week of the election cycle that has been longer than a millennial, right? They are trying to get this into a place where they can steal it from the American people. Here's the thing. No, Roxanne, I will put up, so Roxanne says, so we're fucked? Question mark. Here's the thing, folks. No, I don't. I don't think that we're fucked. I can be both worried and hopeful at the same time. Because guess what? I said this yesterday on the show. 50 million people have already voted. 50 million people have already voted. That is an astronomical number. Now, we also know that reports are coming out that more Republicans have voted early despite Donald Trump signaling a bunch of mixed messages. But we also know that a lot of Democrats are voting early too. That's actually the thing that we choose to do and believe in, is voting early. But we will see how this plays out. But what encouraged me last night was the size of the crowds. What has been encouraging me is not the fucking polls, right? But the actual people that we're seeing in places like Michigan, Ohio, Georgia, right? The way that people are turning out in these places. And frankly, their little stunt that they pulled at Madison Square Garden on Sunday, oh, when you offend Puerto Ricans, you offend Black people, you offend Jewish people, you offend Muslims, right? Like you just went down the list of, again, pointing at people, pointing at groups that you don't like and don't want. Not the best closing argument to say that you should vote for me because the only people that can feel secure, right, are white, cis, hetero, pseudo-Christians. And don't worry about it, because when he's done coming for each and every group that they named out on Sunday, he'll come for you too. So do I think that we're fucked? No, but I also don't know if anything is totally for certain. I don't think that we will know on November 5th who, right, won the election. Maybe we will. Maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe it will be a blue tidal wave. I have no idea. But I'll be honest with you that I don't think that we will know for several days because there will be court cases. I pray that they all turn out the way they did in 2020. Again, Donald Trump filed suit today. We know it wasn't Rudy Giuliani that did it because he's been disbarred. There's always a little bit of a silver lining in the clouds, you know? Folks, so here's the thing that I also want to transition to, because apparently, once again, Joe Biden is in the press, right? Joe Biden is still the president of the United States. And Joe Biden said about Madison Square Garden and the things that were said about Puerto Rico, he said that those people were garbage, right? Mainstream media today apparently has gotten fucking amnesia and has forgotten all of the ways that Donald Trump has referred to immigrants as poisoning the blood of this nation, has referred to his political enemies as the enemy within, as vermin, right? Like they clearly have forgotten about the laundry list of people from shithole countries that they're eating the cats and eating the dogs over in Springfield, Ohio, because they've decided to come for Joe Biden. And how dare he call these people garbage? If it walks like a duck and looks like a duck, what are we supposed to say that it is? So Joe Biden took to his X account and said the following. Earlier today, I referred to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump's supporter at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, which is the only word I can think of to describe it. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable. That's all I meant to say. The comments at that rally don't reflect who we are as a nation. Where's the lie here? Where's the lie? What did he misspeak on? Tony Hinchcliffe, the pseudo comedian, got on stage and called Puerto Rico an island of floating garbage. Right? Another person got up on the stage and said that people that don't vote for Donald Trump or who are against him need to be quote unquote slaughtered. Where was the wall-to-wall coverage about that? Once again, corporate mainstream media doing what it does best, which is bending the knee to Donald Trump, which is going after Joe Biden, who I want to remind everybody isn't running for re-election. Kamala Harris came out with a statement today and said, look, I'm going to be president for all Americans. I don't believe in disparaging one group or the other. Somebody said, why are they elevating this? Because she is the one running for president. So why wouldn't she clarify exactly what she said in her speech last night? Here's the thing. Mainstream corporate media went after Hillary Clinton in 2016 when she called them deplorable. I said recently, we needed a bigger name for that, right? Like deplorable, accurate, but I need something worse, right? I need something worse. So my thought here, friends, is once again, media sending us off over a fucking cliff without a parachute because they don't give a damn about this election. They don't give a damn about democracy. Because if they did, then the coverage would continue to be about the hate-filled KKK Nazi rally that was held on Sunday at Madison Square Garden and not Biden's reaction to it, which was on par with the trash that was on stage. So miss me with it. Okay? Honestly. Take a listen to this. This is Politics Girl on CNN speaking with the panelist Scott Jennings, their favorite Republican to have on, and his thoughts initially on Kamala Harris's speech last night and Lay's reaction to that.
We're taken aback by the absolute full-on attack on Trump. We've heard it all before. It sounded a little frantic to me, to be honest, this close to the end of the election. I took a few notes. Again, they're still pushing the lie about Project 2025. It doesn't matter how many times she says it. Donald Trump did not write it. He has disavowed it. This is not his agenda. He has his own campaign agenda. It is not Project 2025.
No, it's Agenda 47, which is exactly the same as Project 2025. And you can say that as many times as you want, Scott, but it's not true. So just to say here and say, I've said this a million times and it's not his plan. His plans that's a very smug way to look at me, my friend. The thing is that what we're doing is we're talking about what she's planning for us. And you're saying 100,000 people, she could draw that anywhere if it was in Washington, D.C. You're totally overlooking what she has done here. She's brought together 100,000 people to say, I look forward to the future. I will be a president for everyone and not just a president for the people that I like. And if you look at it in contrast to what we looked at Madison Square Gardens, which said, hey, man, we don't like you. We don't like you. We don't like you. We don't like you. We're not for you. We're not for you. And she's saying everyone is an American. Everyone will be taken care of. And to the point that we were making earlier, she's saying, here's what the future looks like under me.
What part of her speech seemed hateful to any of you? Oh, the same old rhetoric. It felt desperate. It felt like hate. What was Scott watching? Because he sure as hell was not watching what she said last night. And what Lay said is 100% right. So first off, Donald Trump has disavowed Project 2025. Agenda 47 is Diet Coke to the Coke that is Project 2025. His vice president wrote the foreword for Project 2025. He has over 200 former staff that worked on Project 2025. He has flown on the planes and wants to appoint different people from the Heritage Foundation, which created Project 2025, in his cabinet. So I'm sorry, Scott Jennings, what are we missing here? Right? You seem to be the Trump whisperer. Tell us, where are we going wrong here on what it is that Donald Trump actually means? Because that's what these janitors of the Republican Party love to do, is come up behind Donald Trump and just do this cleanup routine. Or as Donald Trump says, the weave. Give me a fucking break. Okay? And, speaking of which, people that need to give us a break. Elon Musk. Have you all heard the latest? Elon Musk says Trump's economic plans could cause temporary hardship. Elon Musk is out there wanting to warn the rest of us that, Donald Trump, and this is what I'll read, a bit of what has been interpreted by Elon Musk's recent statements. Quote, if Trump succeeds in forcing through mass deportations, combined with Elon hacking away at the government, firing people, and reducing the deficit, there will be an initial severe overreaction in the economy. This was posted by an X user. Market will tumble, but when the storm passes and everyone realizes we are on sounder footing, there will be a rapid recovery to a healthier, sustainable economy. And then Musk replies, sounds about right. So let me get this straight. The soon-to-be trillionaire, right, is going to go into American government, into our institutions, the same way that he did X. Fire a bunch of career policy folks that make this government run, career political people that make this country run, right? Mass deportations for a large swath of our workforce that we rely on. Get away with deading our social safety nets and programs like Social Security, Medicare, right? Get rid of institutions. So essentially, if you are, say, 64 years old right now, basically Elon Musk is saying to you, you're pretty much fucked. Because they also want to extend the rate of retirement and then do away with Social Security. All that money that you've been paying into the system. Well, apparently Donald Trump is just going to wipe that out in the next couple of years. So what do we think that's going to do to the security of Americans? Well, Elon Musk says, well, that's just par for the course, as he's living in his $35 million compound that he's building for his multiple baby mamas and 11 children. That's what he's telling the rest of us as he's flying around in helicopters and complaining about not being able to go to Mars if Kamala Harris is elected. So it's the billionaires that are telling us that we need to brace ourselves for hardships, because what multiple Nobel economists have said, that if Donald Trump gets elected, we are basically going to be facing a depression, but the billionaires won't be depressed, right? They'll still have their 6th, 7th, and 8th houses. right? The top 1% won't be depressed. It'll be the rest of us. They'll be standing in a fucking bread line. Oh, but by the way, there actually will be no bread to give out. And there will be no institutions that actually help those that are least fortunate, because those are the very things that they want to get rid of. Any support systems. I want to just say this to folks. Many moons ago, I traveled to India, right? And India is just such a layered and complex place that has extreme wealth and extreme poverty. Poverty that I had never seen really close up. Like, I mean, people bathing in the fountains in front of the hotel that I was staying in, people pushing in such desperate situations, pushing babies without diapers up against the windows of the cars that we were driving in, just looking for any bit of resources, because guess what? India doesn't provide any social safety nets for people. So basically, you either roll the dice and you're born into the right caste, or you're fucked. And that's exactly the situation that Elon Musk's thinking and Donald Trump's economy will put us in. There will be no middle. There will just be the extreme wealthy and poverty. That is it. Because they want to do away with what they think is waste. Not the waste of giving tax breaks over and over again to the uber wealthy that never managed to trickle down. Because have you felt any precipitation? I sure as hell not. Right? So they don't want to do away with actually making these people pay their fair share. They want to squeeze the rest of us in order to be able to build more wealth for themselves. And then Elon Musk had the audacity to say that it's temporary.
And to live within our means. Yeah, that necessarily involves some temporary hardship, but it will ensure long-term prosperity.
Temporary hardship, but long-term prosperity. Well, Elon, what do you mean by temporary? Are we talking about a year? Are we talking about a decade? Right? What's the time frame that y'all are working on over there? And when you say hardships, right? What does that look like? Does that look like you giving up one of your many homes? Right? Does it look like the uber rich giving up any goddamn thing, or no? Just the middle class and the poor giving up everything that they've scraped to put together in the first goddamn place. It's the audacity for me, folks. Right? Like the absolute fucking audacity to look at the American people and say, well, you just got to suffer more. So basically, in Donald Trump's continued closing argument this week, his surrogates, right, which Elon Musk is basically his vice president, because has anybody seen JD Vance lately? I know I haven't. I'm grateful for it, but I'm hearing more from Elon Musk than I am JD Vance these days. And so, as Tim Walsh said, his actual running mate is the one that is out there not telling us what Donald Trump is going to provide for the American people, but continuing to tell us what he's going to take away and how much harder life is going to be. And oh, by the way, there'll also be increased violence, right? Because when you put people in desperate economic situations, it's basically a recipe for violence. So they're creating a tinderbox so that they squeeze what little resource and money people have out, put people inside of a pen, drop a match, see what happens, and then call in the militarized police or the actual military to then lock those people up. Do you see the plan, folks? Because I see it really, really clearly. And, and this is why I say, I wonder if the rest of America sees the plan that we see, right? Because, let's take a listen to Mike Johnson, right? Fisher Price Speaker of the House. Oh, Let's see if he'll play. Maybe he won't play. Well, here's what I will say that Mike Johnson said. Mike Johnson was recorded secretly, right? Where he was asked about what are some of Donald Trump's plans. Oh, we have these big plans. Is it to get rid of Obamacare? Somebody yelled out, and he said, of course. Does anybody remember how many times they tried to repeal Obamacare? I can tell you, it was over 60. They were never able to do it. And oh, by the way, they have nothing to actually replace it with. But they don't care about replacing anything. Donald Trump's campaign is about take, 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 take. Kamala Harris's campaign is about give, 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 give. So what does America want? Somebody that is going to take away from them, or somebody that is actually going to provide a way forward for them? Super simple. And as I close out today, look at this. Just a little more violence at the polls. An 18-year-old, so a grown-ass man, because, apparently white men get to be children until they're 78 years old. But an 18-year-old over in Neptune Beach was wielding a machete, friends, at a polling station, threatened a woman with that machete, has since been arrested. He was with a group of folks with their Trump flags and in their pickup truck and a bunch of machetes and what have you, because this is normal. This is good. This is good stuff to folks. So let's end with something good before we go into a brief town hall, because we missed it yesterday. And for those of you that are new here, on the Danielle Moodie Show on Tuesdays is usually Town Hall Tuesdays, where you can ask me questions in the chat. I put them up. I do my best to answer them. But yesterday, because of going live in multiple places with the speech, I'm going to do it today. But let's close out with a little bit of good news, which is that Arnold Schwarzenegger has endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. And he has said he endorsed on a very long post on X. I'll give you the highlight, which was the door on this chapter of American history. And I know that former President Trump won't do that. He will divide, he will insult, he will find new ways to be more un-American than he already has been. And we, the people, will get nothing but more anger. I mean, there it is. There it is. That is the truth. What do the American people get with a second Trump Reich? More anger, less money, less security, right? Less of everything, but more violence, more anger, more hate, more drama on a regular basis. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, former Republican governor of California, did the right thing. The list of how many Republicans now are voting for the vice president, I can't even count anymore. So there it is. The tale of two Americas. Which one will folks choose? All right. Let's get into our town hall, shall we? If you have questions, drop them in. I was just told that something is happening with my mic. Is my mic back? Is it back? Can you guys hear me? Tell me. If you can hear. Oh, You're good. Okay. Mercedes says I'm fine. Great. Something did happen with my mic. Technology. All right, folks. So it is time for a town hall. Ask me whatever it is that you would like to ask. I will do my best. I'm in the chat. Oh, here's a question. Would you consider running for office ever? I get asked this question all the time. The answer is no. Do I ever consider? No. Because I think that I can be of more use and help in doing what I do here, which is doing my best to try and educate folks to their power, right? And also, I think that people would just roll a lot of clips of hot shit that I have said. So I don't think I would get any votes. So there's that. My mother's in the chat and she says yes. But I'm not gonna run. I'm not gonna run. So that will not happen. Oh, what is I don't even know what that means. If I were a fur person, if you were a furry, what would your persona be? What does that mean? Like a furry animal? Like what kind of animal would I be? Or is this like some underground stuff that I don't really know about? If I were a furry, I don't know, like a puppy to a very wealthy single person. I guess that would be my answer. That would be my answer. Oh, how's the doggy? The doggy went home. I had been taking care of pet sitting my adorable little Pierre, a schnoodle. And I love him very much, but he went back to his mother. I was very, very sad about it, by the way. I think I need my own dog. And I'm not a dog person, but I think I need my own dog. Oh, this is a good one. Has Mary considered running for president? No. I don't even need to ask her that. The answer would be absolutely not. To be honest, folks, I feel like if you are running for president, like you have like it's not fun. You know, we have seen that. It's not fun. And so I don't know, like you have to be a steely person or trying to get out of prison, you know, steely person or a criminal, apparently. But no, Mary is not going to run for president. Do you think polls will be dropped if they are off as much as I suspect they may be? Oh, you mean in future elections, will we be using polls? I honestly, I don't think so. I think that I think people will continue to use them. I mean, it's a whole industry. Pollsters make a lot of money, get paid a lot of money. But I wonder if they're saying she's going to win or they're so tight, but there's some type of blowout. I wonder. That's a good question. Isn't Merrick Garland a Republican? And doesn't that play into his abject inaction on? I actually have no idea what Merrick Garland's affiliation is. My assumption was that he was a Democrat because I don't know then why Mitch McConnell would have held up his confirmation in Obama's last year. But his inaction is just, I don't know, is he just inept? Right? Like, I don't know if it has anything to do with his party affiliation. I just think he's a terrible attorney general that I would have fired. But I also think that Joe Biden went into the presidency thinking that he was going to be able to truly unite the country and turn the page on Donald Trump. And so he's like, we're not going to investigate. I'm not going to get somebody that is going to be really, really hard. I'm going to get somebody that's going to rebuild trust, is what I think ended up happening, and it backfired. Those are my thoughts. Oh, that's funny. Somebody said you could be the East Coast Jasmine Crockett. Those are big shoes to fill, y'all. I love Jasmine Crockett. Those are big shoes to fill. So I don't know about that. Are you going to have a watch party? I'm definitely going to be doing election coverage. It will be coming from Mary Trump Media's account as well as my YouTube channel. So absolutely, there's going to be a lot going on, and nobody's going to sleep. So please tune in. Let's see. Question: is anyone discussing President Biden's presidential immunity in regards to overriding MAGA Mike's refute? No. So that's hasn't been a discussion that I have seen happening, but it is the vice president that certifies, right? That's why we had the whole hang Mike Pence situation. But what can Joe Biden do? I think that will be very interesting to see. I don't know. I'm not an attorney, but that'll be interesting to see. I do know that the Harris team has a very robust team of lawyers that are like extraordinary. So I don't believe at all that we're going to take anything lying down. So I'll say that. But what can Joe Biden do? Unclear. I wish he could just throw Donald Trump in jail. That would be nice. And say that was an act of, under his guise, because apparently the Supreme Court says you can do whatever you want. Oh, this is good. Do you think that we will ever not hear Donald's name again? I don't know. I pray, like I really literally do. If we are able to turn the page on him, I still think we'll hear his name, but it won't have the same type of chemical reaction in our bodies that it does now, because I think that it'll just be us following the trials, right? That will be going on. So that's my hope. But ever again, no, the media loves him. What are you doing for your birthday? Thank you so much for asking. So my birthday is on November 10th, and I'm actually trying to decide what I'm going to do. I was supposed to go away and be away for my birthday, and I think that the election is not going to be decided yet. So I'm going to decide at the end of the week whether or not that trip is going to get pushed off until December. So we will see. I'll keep you posted. Pierre knows Kamala will win. I think he does. Do I think that Elon will be charged for interference? Well, we do know that the DA in Pennsylvania filed a lawsuit against him and his bullshit PAC, right? His $1 million sweepstakes to steal an election. But again, where is Merrick Garland? Where's the Department of Justice? So here's the good news. Merrick Garland is going to be gone, right? And I hope that whoever is appointed AG by the former Attorney General of California will be somebody with teeth. So I would love for them to investigate Elon Musk and potentially sue him in federal court for election interference, 100%. So we'll see. Oh, this is a good question. Once Kamala wins, how do we build power and push the Harris administration to stop arms going to Israel and for an immediate ceasefire? This madness has to end. I think that is going to be very, 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 very high on the agenda. I hope that the Harris-Walz administration would not continue with the same policies that Biden did. Biden has a different understanding and a different connection to Israel. He's from a different generation. But I think that we have seen that Netanyahu, his own people, do not like him and want him out of office. He too is a criminal and trying to drag things out for as long as he can, because that's how he's going to stay in power. So my hope would be that this would be one of the first things internationally that she calls for. So we will see, because we definitely know that what is happening in Gaza and Israel is playing out in this election, where you have some folks that are saying that they will not vote for her, and others saying that they will support Donald Trump. I don't know how supporting Donald Trump or a third party is going to help the people of Gaza. I don't see it, because Donald Trump and his son-in-law want to turn Gaza into beachfront property and eliminate, or a parking lot, which another sitting member of Congress said. So I don't, and a third party we know is not viable in this country at this time. So I think that that is throwing your vote away. So we'll see. I honestly, I don't know. More questions. More questions. I'm looking. Yeah, he's stolen 10 years of my life too. I feel that way as well. I feel very, very old. And I shouldn't be. Yeah, agree. Folks, are there any other questions? Any other questions before we get out of here for today? Oh wait, here's one. What are your thoughts on a multi-party political systems like we have in Europe? Could it work in the US in the near future for reducing division and identity politics? Interesting. I mean, I believe in a multi-party system. I just don't know how we institute that, how it becomes institutionalized in the United States. I really don't. I know that we have these third parties that pop up all the time. I know that a lot of people, like to re-register as independents, and just vote based on policy. But I really don't know how that would work. And I think that our elections have been so consequential over the last several years, that any third party vote right now is a vote being thrown away. Would I love to see that? Yes, I think that there should be quotas. I think that there would be more compromise, because we don't have a two-party system right now. We have the Democrats and we have a cult, right? So there is only one political party in the United States right now. So I don't know what comes in its place. And I don't know if we say that we believe that there are sane Republicans, but none of them are holding office right now. Not any ones that I see. So I honestly, I don't know, but that is something that I would love to see. All right, dear friends. Thank you so much for entertaining Wednesday's town hall. I love this so very much. I appreciate each and every single one of you that have shown up today, that are just so invested in helping me grow this platform and this audience. Folks, if you are new here, please like and subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. It makes a world of difference when you do. So this show, Monday through Thursday, I am here 5 p.m. Eastern. Like, subscribe so you never miss an episode. There's a lot going on a regular basis, and I'll be adding new shows, and I'm super excited for the community that we're growing here, and for your investment in independent media. Thank you to those that donated today. Appreciate you always. And I'm just excited. Programming note. Let me say this right now so that everyone can hear. Programming note. I will not be live tomorrow because I'm traveling back to New York, but I will be, get this, live on Friday instead at 5 p.m. Eastern. So I will make sure to put that up. I will not be live tomorrow on Thursday, but I will go live on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, because, I think we're in the home stretch, folks, and I want to be together every step of the way. So make sure that you come back on Friday. As always, dear friends, power to the people, and to all the people power. Get woke, stay sane, and in these extraordinarily dangerous times, my friends, please stay safe. Like and subscribe. See you guys Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern.